Hi everyone, today I want to show you how I installed this facias with an access opening into the tunnel on my small model train layout. I'm no expert at woodwork, I just wanted to share my process and give you some tips that worked for me. So let's get started. I'm using 3.8mm hardboard for this project. I had to buy it in small pieces to be able to transport them on my bike, but ideally you'd cut it from one piece to minimize the seams. But small pieces will work just fine as well. First, ensure the edge of the layout with the scenery is square. Mine wasn't, so I marked how much I had to trim and took it outside, because cutting makes a big mess. A hand wood saw worked great for this. After trimming, I double checked to make sure I had cut the right amount. Next, I measured and marked the opening. I don't have a circular saw and hand saws don't really give the cleanest cuts, so I decided to use a knife instead with a steel ruler clamped with a G-clamp as a guide. I made several passes with a sharp knife blade. It took some time, but it worked great and the cut was much cleaner than I expected. I used a small off-cut piece of wood to join the two boards together. However, I should have done this after screwing it to the layout, because it's such a small fragile joint. I also didn't wait for the glue to dry. Anyways, to screw them on, I first pre-drilled the holes and countersunk them so the screws would sit flush with the surface. Then, after screwing the boards to the layout, I clamped the wood piece in place again. To reinforce the corners, I decided to use these 2x2cm square wooden dowels. I cut them to roughly 20 cm. First, I removed some of the mounting in the corner to fit them. For this, I take the layout module outside again. Once done, I reattach the boards with the screws and glue the corner piece to it like so. While waiting for the glue to dry in the one corner, I start working on the other corner. It also had to be cut to size, and I again pre-drill and countersunk the holes. Then I glued the corner piece. And before leaving it overnight to dry, I use another off-cut piece of wood to glue the seam. The next day I removed the clamps and glued on the final side boards. I couldn't clamp these, so I decided to use screws to hold them in place while the glue dries, but only screwing above the mountain line that I would remove anyway. When attaching the sideboards, I ensured they were square. I didn't glue them to the layout module, since I still had to remove it to cut the mountain contour. Next, I marked along the mountain's edge on the inside, and then removed it for cutting. For this, I used a coping saw. After cutting, I reinstalled and glued it. After the glue dried, I used Scoptomold and plaster of Paris with some wood glue added to fill in the gaps. Once dry, I gave it a quick sanding with some 100 grit sandpaper. And finally, it's time for painting. You can choose to paint it whatever color you like. I decided to go with matte black. This video was sponsored by Model Railroad Academy. Model Railroad Academy is your go-to online resource for model railroad instructions, ideas and information. A community where enthusiasts can come together to learn and share their passion for model railroads and trains. Their website features an extensive library of high-quality instructional videos and layout tours, including some of the top modelers in the hobby. Personally, I found their video about 3D printing especially useful, like the one about printing your own rolling stock. I'm definitely going to try that. As a member, you'll have access to a wide range of instructional videos and clever tips from expert instructors. The first 1,000 people to click the link in the video description will get a full year of premium membership to Model Railroad Academy for only $1.49. Thanks again to Model Railroad Academy for my first video sponsor. Putting some effort into things like installing nice looking facias on your layout can make it look so much better and more professional. And it doesn't even have to cost much. All the materials used in this video only cost me about $10. I hope this video was helpful. If you haven't seen the video of me making the mountain, there's a link in the description if you wanna check it out. But that's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching and I'll see you next time.